So finally, the other day, I found the answer to something that had been plaguing me for years. You see, since I was young, I always had body aches and headaches that would not go away for long periods of time. I was always tired and would fall asleep in various places. The pain at times was excruciating, but I knew that I had to keep moving forward. My mom would always take me to various doctor's appointments, but to no avail. Everywhere I went, I was always told the same things. It was all in my head. I was faking for attention. They were growing pains, and I was just being whiny. Always the same answers. I finally realized that no one was willing to help me, and I was tired of how exhausted my mother looked. I decided to not talk about the pain I was feeling on a regular basis. I decided to hide what I was feeling, and through that, I let myself spiral into my depression. I felt that if the doctors kept telling my mom that it was all in my head, then did that not mean that I was crazy? The pain was too much for me, and due to always being tired, I was labeled as lazy and in need of shaping up. I began to wish that the pain would be taken away, and I felt that the only way for that to happen was for me to be gone from this life. I attempted suicide many times, but it would never end. And at this point in my life, I'm glad that I'm here now. I worked past my depression and various health issues through therapy and help, and a lot of health issues I didn't realize I had at the time. This all started happening to me around the time that I was 11 or 12. I am now 26 years old and about to turn 27 in 6 months, and well, less than 6 months, and I was just told that I had fibromyalgia, upon many other things, but for this video I kind of want to focus on the fibromyalgia. Now, according to mayoclinic.com, fibromyalgia is a disorder characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain accompanied by fatigue, sleep, memory, and mood issues. Women are more likely to have fibromyalgia than men, but men can still have fibromyalgia. It can be accompanied by other issues like IBS and headaches, among other things. Everyone who experiences fibromyalgia will have different story to tell. Everyone is different, so they will have different symptoms. But here are some of the common symptoms people may feel. The first one being pain. This is a symptom that I felt the most growing up. It's just widespread pain. It can be on the lower half of your body, on the upper half of their body. There are certain tender points that a doctor will test. The pain can be a deep pain, a sharp pain, dull, throbby, or just an achy pain, and sometimes it could be a combination. The second symptom is fatigue. It's like that feeling of being tired. Even when you think you've had a full night's rest, it's as if something heavy is just being carried on your shoulders throughout the day. Even the basic things like grocery shopping, showering, and doing things for yourself can feel exhausting, and you just kind of want to nap after doing everything. And if on top of that, another symptom is sleep problems. As if fatigue wasn't already an issue, now falling asleep is an issue too, and it only feeds the fatigue when you can't sleep. The next symptom is brain fog. It's a difficulty with concentration and memory. Some people call it fibro fog, memory fog, but it affects you in a lot of ways that you wouldn't think. One of the other symptoms that I found interesting was anxiety and depression. Yeah, fibromyalgia can come with anxiety, depression, and stress can worsen fibromyalgia symptoms. The next one is morning stiffness. I don't even know how many times I've made the joke that I'm a 26-year-old woman stuck in an 80-something body, because I wake up, my joints are stiff, I have to stretch, I have to move everything, and sometimes that stiffness can stay with me all day, and sometimes it can last about 20 minutes. And on top of that, sometimes the stiffness comes with swelling, numbness, or tingling in my arms, legs, hands, or feet. Sometimes for me, it was like a static feeling in my extremities and then numbness. It was a very strange feeling, but I tried to ignore it as much possible as I didn't want to acknowledge it. The next one that I had a lot as a kid and was always ignored was headaches. It's just like this huge pressure on my head that will not go away for a long whiles at a time. The next one is also very interesting considering it's IBS and problems urinating. Yes, a leaky bladder can be attributed to fibromyalgia. The next symptom is painful menstruations. For me, periods are very painful to the point of wanting to cry and scream out in pain, but I wouldn't because I was scared of being told that I was exaggerating. And the last symptom that I have gotten from the Mayo Clinic website is Restless Leg Syndrome. And that's when your feet just kind of, you want to move, like you're laying down and your feet want to be on the move and you can't sleep, and it just feeds that fatigue and sleep problem issues. But if you feel that you have fibromyalgia but no one is listening to you, I understand, but it's important to get the treatment that you need. If your doctor is not sending you where you need to be, you can request a what's it called, a referral. You can request a referral to a rheumatologist, and that's exactly what I did. I requested a referral to a rheumatologist, and the rheumatologist was able to perform some tests on me and was able to determine I have fibromyalgia pretty quickly. He kept reassuring me that it is a real chronic illness. I did not make it up, and it's not all in my head, as I had been told before. He was very reassuring while providing information for me. There is no cure for fibromyalgia, but there are ways to manage the pain, such as diet and exercise, reducing stress, and medication for pain. I have to start taking medication now because sometimes the pain can be really bad. And since I work in a school, I need to have my energies up for playing with preschoolers basically, and teaching them and helping them and what they need. And sometimes that's what gets me up in the mornings. Like, if it was not for that, I probably would stay in bed all day and just pity myself, lament myself. But I try to keep pushing forward, try to push myself, not too much where it's causing me too much pain, but enough so that I can lead a normal life. And through that, I've also have therapy, and that helps a lot too with learning how to reduce stress. And I implore you, if you relate to any of this, you are not alone. Find a doctor who listens, or request a referral to a rheumatologist, and find someone who truly cares. I know it's exhausting, but trust me, there are people who really care and people who understand. When I was talking to my rheumatologist, he told me it's very common for young women to come in and have been told that this is all in their heads, they're just being hysterical, their emotions are running high, and it's not that at all. It is a chronic illness, and even if there's no cure for it, there are ways to manage it. And I hope that anyone who's suffering through this can get the help they need.